What's up, everybody? It's your girl Rachel from What's Up Dallas magazine. I have none other than the amazing Queens of Conversation. How are you, ladies?
We are
Hi, thank you
good.
so much. Great, doing great.
Wonderful. I'm so honored to have you ladies, both of you on my show today. So could you introduce yourselves to our audience and tell them who you are and what your role is in the Queens of Conversation?
Yeah. So I am T. Latoya, Lady T, and I'm one of the hosts on the Queens of Conversation talk show. Well, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself, and then we'll get more into it, right?
Okay. And I am, of course, I am Egypt. That is my legal name. That is not a stage name. And I am the other host for the Queens of Conversation podcast slash TV slash we all over the place.
Y'all are all over the place. I see y'all everywhere.
By choice. So as far as who we are, we wanted to take it just more than the screen
Mhm.
because for what you're doing, Rachel, the Dallas has so much that is so rich in culture and just there's so many different things going on. And it was like, well, what if we live broadcasted on location from different events? And it could be at this point we've done so many different events that there is no box for it. It's like, oh, well, we only do weddings or we only do this. There's no only. Um,
Right.
it actually would be cool if somebody invited us out for a wedding.
That would be epic. That would be epic and wonderful. Just to love, I love weddings anyways, but that's just me. So my curiosity comes to you ladies on how did you two link up?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, it was actually three of us. It was three women
Mhm.
with this podcast. And how it started was, and if I missed something, T could jump in. We actually were streaming with Next Level Radio, which we still are affiliated with. We're internationally syndicated now with them on Indie Plug. And we were going in on Saturday mornings from 9 to 10. Of course, sometimes we would go over because the conversation and, be just that good. It was actually Lady T and another young lady that was doing it. And the other young lady invited me. And so I started coming, and the producer was like, "Hey, the numbers are going up when you there. What you think about doing it full time?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah," but I envisioned something different, and that's why I was telling T when me and T and the other lady talked. I said that's cool to do podcasts because anybody can kind of do a podcast, but I want to take it out the box. If we're talking about domestic violence, if we're talking about hunger, if we're talking about kids needing clothes, stopping bullying. We have to get out in the community and link our face with these issues. Then we could talk about it because we have to talk to people that have really, really went through this stuff.
Yeah.
And us women on the platform, we really had went through a lot of this stuff growing up, so we could speak on it. But it's nothing like get a fresh perspective on these topics, and it's
Yes.
Mhm.
healing and accountability that we were standing on. And we
Yeah.
just spit off. It was Let's Talk with Lady T and I won't say the other person name. And then we were like, that's
Talk with
not.
you.
Let's do something else. And
Yeah.
we came up with Queens of Conversation, and we just been. Well, I let T take it from that part, but we just been blowing.
Y'all
Yeah.
been blowing up.
Well, I got my first taste of it when as far as the beginning for me, when we went out and she was having an event. She was having an event and she was doing it's called the Women with Purpose Tour. And so Doug with Next Level was going to be out there broadcasting. Well, I said, what you think about broadcasting from that event?
Uh-huh.
Nobody had really thought about that, and she was already doing her show, and so it was such an exhilarating feeling on actually being out there and interviewing the vendors and interviewing the people. So as when Egypt came on and when it crossed over, she was like, "Well, no, I don't want to just be in the studio," and I was like, "Girl, I'm already there with you because I don't want to just be cool, and I don't want. I was never just one to just stay in the house." so to
Right.
speak. So I like to be outside. I was one riding. I was a huge tomboy. Like, so
Mhm.
this was right up my alley of, hey, if we can get out there and interview the people and talk to them. I mean, that's how we met you. And
Yes.
so it was, and so it took me out of my box more because I'm not really a network. I just like to play.
Yeah.
But but I'm steadily growing and we're steadily growing, and it's become bigger than what we even first imagined when we were just sitting there trying to come up with it. Yeah, it's way bigger than that. It's big. It's even still bigger than us being on location, but we're still pushing
Of
for to
course.
get to heights. Yeah,
Yeah, of
yeah.
course. And I love that about what you ladies are doing. You're out in the community. You're talking to people who really been through it, like on every level, every aspect. I mean, last month you had domestic violence awareness, you had breast cancer survivors. I mean, survivors of all kinds and all sorts. And that's how we connected was through the domestic violence survivor stories. And that's why I respect you ladies, because you're not really like you're not a personality that's talking just to be seen. You're talking because you want to relate. You want people to actually take y'all serious. Like you really want to be there for other people.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
really resonated with me. That's why I'm like, these queens, they my friends now. We're just going to continue to do what we do. So,
Yes,
Well, so
ma'am.
awesome. I'm so glad you see that because that's all we're trying to exude. It's
mm,
in all the goodness that we're giving out. We
Yeah.
have been so attacked. In Egypt specifically, if we can be transparent, she's the single one, I'm the married one. So it's like, as opportunities are coming up, the shady ones, the things that we've had to battle away, she pretty much on the forefront of that because some of the men out there are looking more to try to get a date as opposed to book us.
right? I'm just telling you. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you this to be honest. There is something to be desired about a woman who is assertive, confident, and she is not afraid to talk to people. There is something guys just they're attracted to that because they don't see it. That's probably why you're fighting them off, Egypt. Plus, you're beautiful too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
And
She
both of
out
y'all
there smiling and talking, and but she's
are.
gorgeous.
But
That
I
confidence.
do have to do the network part, but it balances out because what she can't do. One thing about her, I respect how she moves with her marriage. She
Mhm,
never comes out of that wife mentality. I don't care where we're at and what we're doing, and I would never put her in a situation where she would have to. So
mhm,
because I'm single, I can kind of talk to these men and be like, hey, and what we were trying to do, what our vision was, and God is saying no, and we see it now. We were
mhm.
trying to bridge the gap between the male and the woman.
Uh-huh.
And by doing that, we was talking to these people that was in these big positions that
Yeah,
we
Mhm,
thought, oh, okay, if we link, this will help us talk about men's mental health. Because we could
yeah,
talk
right.
all day
yeah,
about
yeah.
women and stuff, but let's find out why are men acting like this. And
Mhm.
oh my God, that's where the shadiness come from. Came in,
Right.
and yeah, we were definitely attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely attacked.
I think whenever it comes to like a woman-owned podcast, a woman-owned talk show, it's hard to find male people who actually want to talk about stuff. Because let's be honest, guys really don't want to talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
Especially they don't want to talk about their mental health because I can talk about this right now. Because there are guys out there that are trying to be tough men, trying to hold it in because
Yeah.
they think if they talk about it, it's going to make them feel lesser of a man in
Yeah.
society. And I really think that's the stigma that's followed that kind of action. It's probably why a lot of people are just like, why would you do that? Why would you talk about your feelings? Like, are you trying to be a little sissy or something? Because
Yeah.
that's how they have it in the world. But it is very real, and it's hard to find people like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The guys are stubborn. They are. But us women, some of us women are stubborn too. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But we all on that level. But I respect you, Miss Egypt, for being a single mom. So you're a single mom.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
respect you, Miss Lady T, for being a married lady. And it's like y'all have both ends of the spectrum, the both ends of the lifestyle for y'all to talk about on your show. And I think that's really amazing. Like, it's very hard to find a married woman and a single woman on the same talk show. They're either going to be all married or all single.
Yeah.
So
That is interesting you say that. Yeah, that is true. And we bring such diverseness to it in our lifestyles that I get to watch her still. Oh no!
gotta find them
I
out.
won't talk to nobody.
You're like, I'm gonna stay in my
And I
corner.
was like,
No, he's not the
I've
one.
been divorced twice, and see, T has never experienced that.
Yeah.
So like she said, we do bring diversity. Now, my first marriage, I was married at 17, 18. And when we hit marriage problems, like my dad was like the person that we could talk to. He was a pastor and he died. So after he died, I didn't know how to grieve. I didn't know what to do. And so we hit these paths. And instead of my friends that I thought was my friends saying, hey, work on it, or it's just you right now, they were forcing me or listening. Oh, you're pretty. You can get somebody else. He ain't doing this. Girl, go ahead and do this and do that. And bam, there was that divorce. And we was together. We were married 15 years and we was together like 17. We still real good friends. He comes and do contract work at my house. And sometimes I had to go back and apologize because he's remarried. He has kids and all of that. But that's the point of holding yourself accountable. I couldn't man bash him and say, oh, he was this, and this, because it wasn't. It was me too. I had some part in it. Now, the second husband, that's like your story, Rachel. He was,
He was not good.
No.
He was not good.
Not at all. So we've been divorced 3 years, and I tried to date right after that, and it wasn't a good look for my son. I didn't want him to see different men. So after I tried to date, we dated for like 2 months and it didn't work. I said I would never put my son in a situation like that again. So I became celibate. I've been celibate, Lord, 3 years.
Lord, please, let's not really talk about this, but we're gonna talk about it.
Look how
it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah, but it's a choice, and I did it. And then people are like, "Well, why did you do it? Because you're not ugly, you're not this, you're not that." But I was building a relationship with God, and I needed to heal. I never healed from molestation. I never healed from rape. I never healed for them things, and I was running, and I was running into the wrong thing. So, okay, it comes a point where you have to take accountability and say, "Look, Egypt, you can't keep doing this all your life. You can't keep choosing the wrong men. Sit still, heal, because when you heal, you make better decisions." That's why the platform for the Queenz is that we could go and we could talk to you about these topics because we've been through that.
Yeah,
we're both with 2-parent households. That's the good thing. But it was some stuff in them households too, that was going on that people don't like to talk about. And
that what happens in the house stays in the house. So
we're bringing it out. No more sweeping it under the rug. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's not pass this on to our kids. Let's not pass this on to our grandkids.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what color.
Yeah, we know there was people miserable till they passed on. You know how they say they old and miserable. I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for my children. And so it's important for us to break these generational curses.
Exactly. And not take it to the grave. Of course, you got to talk about these things because if you don't talk about it, how are you going to heal? Exactly. And I believe that is really important. That's why I love your talk show, because you give people an opportunity to talk about things and heal in the process with real people doing real conversations. Yeah. So with that being said, for our audience out there that's going to watch this interview, can you please tell them what type of guests you're looking for and what type of guests that are most desirable for your talk show?
Well, the type of guests we're looking for is, especially if we're having a certain topic or theme of topics, if you have a story that falls under that, where you can find us is on Queenz of Conversation, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, as well as Instagram. And if we're not hosting a theme for that month, email us. If you have a story, we'll listen to your story because, we've interviewed so many different type of people. And so it's as far as we've crossed into politics. So we've had politicians on, we've had activists on, definitely entrepreneurs. As far as if you want your business highlighted, we can work out ways for you to come on and do that. But there is no cap on the type of person that will interview. If you fit in around because we've really been trying to build the show and keep, and honor the things that are happening in our community. So definitely, if it's one of the months that we say, hey, we'd like to receive your stories we like to talk to you, then definitely email us. But we've had so many different people that we've interviewed and touched as far as different aspects. Like we don't want to say, this isn't allowed. We want to hear your story. So
yeah,
you
we
definitely
don't care what it is.
Yeah,
we don't care what, because
not at all.
everybody has our story. What's our theme? T.
Adjust your crown. Your story isn't over yet, and that applies to everyone. Yeah.
Yes. And I love that. I love that. I actually interviewed a lovely lady last year. We did an article with her, and she has herself with the crown. It's tilted, and
Mhm.
she said that she has it tilted because she's learning to walk without imperfections. So she hasn't adjusted her crown, but that's why we're here to help each other to adjust the crown. And I love that. I love that. I love that you're just queens of conversation, that people can just come to you and be a safe place to talk about what's really going on.
Yeah,
You don't get that
definitely.
very much in podcasts, and you don't get that very much like in society in general. People are really quick to judge and really quick to assume, certain situations just because you look a certain way. So
Yeah.
I want to put emphasis on you being a woman-owned podcast. So right? So with your talk show and all the people that you have interviewed, what has been your biggest struggle in your talk show so far since you started? Yeah.
Biggest
For
struggle?
me, it's the topics that
Mhm.
we covered.
Hmm.
Because in the healing thing, like I
Yeah.
said, I'm in the healing phase. I thought I was healed.
Mhm.
So we was doing topics, and the person that molested me died.
Mhm.
And we had to do this topic Friday, and I was
Mhm.
triggered.
Right.
So that's when I realized, okay, you're really not healed. You're
Mhm.
healing. And we have to, it's phases to healing. Everybody just be like, oh, I wrote in a journal and I'm healed. No, that's not it. Because if you're still triggered and you still got anger and malice, you're not healed.
Yeah.
So dealing with the personal issues and then trying to stay positive for the audience has been kind of the struggle for me.
Right.
And like T said, and like we all saying, being a woman podcast, we have had the opportunities where people have tried to scam us, like, oh, come up under us and pay us this, and we could do this for you. And we were like, and we were so blind, we was gonna do it. We was trying to get our pockets together to do it. And then we was like, no, wait a minute, let's pause a minute.
Yeah.
And now we're bigger than we ever could imagine. Like T said, it's not even YouTube and Instagram anymore. We're with DTR television station, we're with MTS television station. We have another contract in the works with DTP.
Mhm.
They're getting their stuff. So we're out to the masses. We're out. So your story is not just Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. It's actually going out to a world mass that can hear your story and you can help people. You have to tell the story. That's the point of history. And so
Mhm.
we can learn from it. So if you
Mhm.
don't tell your story of how you got through domestic abuse and this young lady is sitting here being abused, then what? Where does she go? How
Right.
does she know what abuse look like if no one talks about it?
Mhm. And how do you learn what real love is? If that's the only type of love that you receive, how are you going to know what real love is and what it isn't? Like, people got to talk about that.
Yeah.
And for you, Miss T, Miss Lady T, so what has been the hardest journey for you so far since you started the talk show?
The consistency.
Mhm.
the consistency and then still maintaining a high level of quality consistently. That has been a big challenge as far as now you're a content creator. It's not just turning the screen on and that's it. You go live and that's it. It's the constant engagement, the social media of it, just the labor of it. That's been, because as far as the scams, people, when that was happening with those people, I was just like, but it was irritation. But as far as staying consistent and making and bringing in the engagement and bringing in the because now at this point our Wednesday show finally has engagement, and just staying consistent and staying in there and not giving up. That has been the biggest obstacle of just throw your hands up, whatever, let somebody else do it. But
and you're good at it, love.
It was our task. It was for us to do. It was for us to push out. And that's.
I'm gonna pray like really big blessings over your talk show, because I think you ladies have a really, really unique talk show here. And a lot of encouragement for you ladies, because I love you, Miss Egypt, for being a single mom and pursuing what God has for you. And Miss Lady T for being so like dedicated. I know you're married, but you're dedicated to your marriage, and I know you know your worth and your purpose. So take that advice and resonate and just be like, I see you ladies. I see y'all doing your thing. So I'm going to ask you real quick, what's your next step for 2024? Y'all thought about that?
He done showed out so in 23. I just cannot even imagine what 24 is going to be like, if that's realistic. Because every time I say one thing, God makes it bigger. And I have to remember, I can't put little stuff on God, because he does big things. He don't do little. So I'm not going to say TV, because we did that. I can't say newspaper, we in there. I can't say magazines, we there. I can't say this stuff because it's not even a year, and the Queens have like touched so many territories. I know T what T gonna say. I'm gonna let her say her spiel, but I can't even imagine what God. I'm nervous to even think about what could happen, because I know the God we serve is a big God, and he's showing out. He's been showing out. He's been showing out for us.
We love it when God shows out. That's what we do.
Absolutely. For as far as 2024, yes, we've already gotten bookings, and definitely appreciative of everybody who's thinking of us. But I want to continue to tell the stories, really get deeper into telling the community stories from our perspective, from this perspective. And so I was telling Egypt before, I said, as we're traveling around the DFW, I'm like, you're seeing it from a different light, and you're hearing the people that are actually living in these communities. And so I want to if we could, I would love to tell everybody's story, because everybody's like, oh, if you heard my story, oh, if you knew what I went through, well, come on, let's talk about it. I love it. Your story of hope and triumph after pain and struggle is my gem to say, hey, as I'm thinking about it, you know what? She didn't give up. I'm not going to give up either. So we want to just keep telling everybody's stories. Bigger, just and push it out and outside of Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah,
if that makes sense, and push it out.
And we have done that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And we're doing it. Continue to just keep saturating, because right now it's like a blip of. I want to just saturate with love and just telling people stories.
I love that. I love everything that you ladies are about, and many blessings to your talk show. So I know we don't have very much time left, but I would like to tell our audience, I will be following up with the Queens of Conversation after 2024, because I want to touch base on how their blessings are going, and I feel like we should give back to them as well. So for our audience out there, ladies, could you please tell them where to find you on social media?
That's Queenz with the Z of Conversation. And you can find that on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Exactly how it's spelled. Queenz, Queenz of Conversation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies, for being on my show today. I'm just so excited, so elated, and I feel blessed to have you on here. And y'all are my friends. I hope y'all know that.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
We're gonna be doing something together in the future. So for the audience out there, y'all stay tuned because things are gonna be happening. So thank you all for watching.